Hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and I'm so excited that you're here. No props needed today unless you just want to have them for your practice. Otherwise, let's make our way into a comfortable position to check in with our breath. Some that might be reclined, it could be seated, it could be child's pose, and just make your way into that space, maybe wiggle into it a little bit to settle in. And we'll close our eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, letting go of any thoughts or worries so that you can just focus in on your breath. So as we inhale, we'll feel the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, we'll feel an expansion through our bellies, the side bodies, the rib cage, and our breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on our exhalation, we'll feel our belly button draw in towards the spine, which allows us to use all three parts of the lungs. Our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath. So we're going to hear snoring-like sound in the back of the throat, kind of like we're fogging up a mirror with our nose. So you want to be able to hear your breath. And see if you can create a rhythm where you inhale to the count of 3, 4, 5, even 6. Exhaling the same, or maybe making that exhalation a little bit longer. And while you're tuning in, we've been talking about the niyamas in my class, which is the second of the 8 limbs of yoga. They are our inner practices and self-relationships. We're talking about Santosha, which is the second of the 5, which translates to contentment, but we're using a definition of joy without conditions. And our focus in this class is gratitude in motion. So today we're letting our movement become an expression of gratitude. Not gratitude because your body moves a certain way, but because it moves. Not because your balance is steady, but because you're willing to wobble and keep showing up to your mat. Not because every pose feels effortless, but because every breath is an opportunity to begin again. So taking a moment just to have so much gratitude for all the things that we have and not gratitudes towards things that we have an expectation for. It's a huge difference. And you'll notice it's so much easier to be thankful and be grateful for things that you already have. And the more that you do it, the more gratitude you have for it. So on our next inhale, let's find some movement. So depending on where you are, that could look like different things. And then we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice, which might be Santosha or joy without conditions and gratitude emotion, or maybe something else comes to mind that speaks to you in this moment. Please honor that. And we'll take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Yeah, and we'll make our way into our mountain pose at the front of our mat. So however you want to get there. And once you do, go ahead and just kind of bring your arms from side to side. Just kind of let it go as we check in with our breath in this shape. And then we'll bring our right arm across as we bring that left arm underneath, just breathing some space in that outer shoulder. You might even move your head from side to side a little bit. Big breath in. Exhale. And then switch it out. Bring that left arm across, right arm underneath as you breathe into that outer shoulder, maybe finding some neck movement here. One more breath in. Exhale. And then reach those arms up overhead, gaze lifts. As we exhale, bring the arms behind the back. We'll interlace our fingers as we draw those shoulders back, opening up through the chest. And then as we exhale, we'll find a forward fold in this shape. So if your feet are together, maybe have a separation in between the feet. You can always make it a wide stance if that feels good. You might start to rock from side to side. Shake the head out, checking in with your breath as you come into this upside down shape. One more breath in. As we exhale, release those arms. Fingertips can come to toes or hands to shins as we lengthen halfway. And then plant your hands, keeping your gaze forward as you step it back into your plank pose, nice and strong. Really spreading through the fingers, super wide as you work your weight forward. And we'll take a full breath in. As we exhale, we'll lower onto our bellies for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. We come all the way down, and we're moving into our sphinx pose. So we're going to come onto the forearms. We'll draw those shoulders back as we let the chest come forward. We're going to do a little bit of a wiggle through the hips here. And then as you bring your gaze forward, check in with your breath as you inhale, feeling the side body as the belly expand. Exhale, feeling it draw in. Big breath in. And exhale. We're bending our arms to bring our hands onto our head. So you might have to make some adjustments with the elbows. And we're starting to open up from side to side. So we can lift up the left arm, we can lift up the right arm. And just find a rhythm that works for you to become accustomed to this as we open up through the shoulders. Next time that we have our left arm open, hold it here, really pushing the floor away. And then we'll lower that down. We'll extend our arms back out, and then let's bring those hands underneath our shoulders as we push it back into a tabletop position. From this tabletop position, extend your right leg out to the side. So have your toes facing the side instead of forward or back. And we're going to kind of sink into this side, opening up through the hip. I'm going to tuck my left toes under to get a little bit more, stability here, but also it's a little bit of an in the window to what's taking place next. Next time you kind of lean into that side, walk your hands to the side, come into a supported side angle pose. So you could have your hand down, you could have your arm onto your leg, and then choose any sort of arm variation you want here. You could just reach that arm up, you can create a diagonal, you could bring it behind the back. Take a full inhale, exhale, and then lift up, coming into a half camel variation. So we can bring that left hand to the small of our back, or we might reach for our heel. As we lift up through the chest, we push those hips forward. And we're going to move through these two just a few times. So we'll find our side angle to our half camel. Really nice. Next time that we come into that half camel, hold it here, big breath in. And then as you exhale, gaze straight ahead, step your right foot forward. We're moving into our runner's lunge. So you might have your blocks to each side if you've chosen to have them, or you have those available to you to bring the floor closer. I know I like to have them, so I'm going to start to shift forward and back here. Next time that we shift it forward, lower the back knee down. As we straighten through that right leg, so we're coming into half splits with a twist. So having those fingertips on the mat as you open up to the right side. Breathing into that outer hip. Inhale. As we exhale, let's rebend that knee. We'll plant the hands as we step back into our plank pose. We'll inhale. Exhale, slowly lowering with muscle. So maybe we hover this time, or we can come all the way down. Inhaling into your cobra, or maybe up dog. And then we'll exhale into our down dog. Our first down dog of the practice. So start to find some movement here. You might bicycle the legs. You might have a bend of the knees as you move your hips from side to side. Checking in with how your body feels in this shape. Full breath in. Exhale. And then let's reach that right leg up. We're going to open up the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. We'll hold it here. We can start to find some movement going in one direction, going in the other direction. Inhale, we'll straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose, and we're planting that knee into the center of our mat, facing the side. So we'll come into our gate pose, reaching that right arm up and over as we breathe into that side body. Really working the shoulders back so we allow our chest to lift. Inhale. And then as you exhale, gaze towards the back of your mat. Pivot to where you're coming into your half splits. So you bring those right toes back. We can Walk our hands forward. Once we find our edge, let the head relax. We can have a soft bend in the knee if we want to bring our chest a little bit closer to feel grounded in that lower back. One more breath in. Exhale. And then shift it forward. Runner's lunge to our twist. So right hand is down, left arm reaches up as we stack shoulder on top of shoulder. And then we have the option of coming into our horizon lunge. So come to the outer edges of both feet as we reach towards the front of our mat. Inhale. And if we're in that horizon lunge, we'll just lower it down. If we're in runners, we lower the back leg down. It's because we're coming into our Gomukhasana legs, or our cow face legs. So we can kind of wiggle into this space. We're reaching our left arm forward, so towards the front of our mat. Right arm is going to come up and overhead as we place it actually behind the head, using it as a reminder to sit back into the pose. And then we're going to get into more shoulder action. So we inhale here. Exhale, bring your right elbow to meet, or at least it's going in the direction of your left elbow. And we'll just start to open and close here, acclimating to this position. Next time you sit it back, breathe into this space. Inhale. Exhale, both hands come to the back of your mat, and we'll unwind where we come into a wide forward fold, or Pasarita Padottanasana. And we might find some movement from side to side. You might just come into a variation you like reaching for opposite, or reaching for ankles or the sides of the feet. Maybe you walk your hands forward like a really wide down dog, or you could walk your hands underneath you. If you have an inversion practice, particularly if your head is meeting the mat, then you can maybe go upside down, find your tripod headstand here. And if you feel any cramping in the legs, just place a bend in the knees. We're all working our weight forward, so we're not sitting back into the heels. We're trying to bring that weight forward, so you're going to feel that lift in the abdominals and the length of the backs of the legs. One more breath in. Exhale. And then come onto your fingertips and your flat back. Left hand down, right arm up as we twist towards the front of our mat, stacking shoulder on top of shoulder. Big breath here. As we exhale, face the front, supported exalted warrior, so back knee lowers, and left arm will reach up as we might gaze past our right shoulder. Full breath in. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down, and let's make our way back onto our bellies for Sphinx pose. So find some movement here, maybe move the head around a little bit. Check in with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Work those shoulders back as you lift for the chest. One more breath in. Exhale. And then bend those arms, bringing those hands behind the head. We'll open it up to where we lift up the right and then the left, going from side to side. Next time the right arm is up, hold it here, really breathe into the space. And then we'll lower it down, extending through the arms, where we'll slide those hands back. Tabletop, where we bring that left leg out to the side. Those toes will face the side. And you might already have those right toes tucked under as you start to open up in this hip. Yeah, next time you lean into that left side, walk it over, coming into your supported side angle, whatever that looks like. Lots of different options. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we move into our half camel. So right hand will come to the small of our back, or if there's space for the heel, you might reach back there as you gaze upward, pushing those hips forward, lifting up through the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Start to move from one to the other with the pace of your breath. Next time you're in your half camel, hold it here, gaze is lifted. Exhale, gaze straight ahead. Step your left foot forward, runner's lunge. So you know I like my blocks, and we'll start to shift forward and back in this space. Noticing one side, most likely, has some differences from the other side, right? Next time that you shift it forward, go ahead and lower the back knee down. Half splits with our twist. So right hand is down, left arm is up as we straighten through that leg. Feels so nice. One more big breath in. On the exhale, rebend that knee, bring those hands down. Working your way to your plank pose. Taking that vinyasa if you like, or go right to down dog. In our down dog, left leg lifts. We'll open up the hip, heel to behind, up towards the ceiling, where we hold, or we can start to make those circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. Inhale, we straighten. Exhale, knee draws the nose. Place that knee at the center of your mat, and we'll face the opposite long edge for gate pose, where that left arm reaches up and over as we breathe into that side body. Big breath in. As we exhale, gaze towards the back. Half splits, so shift those left toes back. Frame this leg, maybe walk a little bit further forward. Know that you can have that bend in the knee, right? One more breath in. Exhale. And then shift it forward, runner's lunge to our twist. So left hand is down, right arm reaches up as we stack shoulder on top of shoulder. Option for that horizon lunge, where we come to the outer edges of both feet and reach towards the front of our mat. Either way, we're making our way to our seats. So we're sliding that leg, that bottom leg underneath us, or we're just lowering to where we come into our cow face legs or Gomukhasana legs. So wiggle into this space, first time on this side. Can walk that right arm out to the side as left arm comes up and over, bringing that behind the head. Lean it back, and then we'll start to open and close on this side. Next time that you open it up, hold it here. Really push into that hand as you breathe into the heart. And then we'll bring our hands to the back of our mat, unraveling for that wide forward fold, Pasarita, where this will be the last time that we have some time to maybe play around here. So if there's anything you want to add, feel free to do so. Totally optional. One more breath in. Exhale. And then we'll come onto our fingertips and our flat back for that twist. So right hand down, left arm reaches up. Well, hello, Bubbas. What you doing? Yeah, you want to be in this? You want to be in the video with me? You're such a sweet boy. Take one more breath in. Exhale. We'll face the front, lowering that right knee down. Right arm comes up as we come into our supported exalted warrior, where we can gaze past the shoulder up towards the fingertips. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel it down. We can make our way through a vinyasa, or we can go right to our down dog. Yeah, or we'll take a full breath in here. Exhale, soften those knees, gaze it forward as you step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Let's reverse. We'll reach it up and back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands as we step it, float it. Excuse me. Moving through your vinyasa. We're going to down dog. Inhale. Exhale, soften those knees, gaze forward as you step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse. We'll reach it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant, gazes forward as we make our way to our down dog, or any resting position of choice. How you doing? That's our warm-up for today, which is very exciting because that means over half the class is over, and I'm not even joking. Because if you're new to my practice, we do 2 main sequences, which I call peanut butter and jelly. The warm-up has pretty much really everything in it, so you're so far ahead. What we do is we repeat peanut butter 3 times, jelly 3 times, and then at the end, we bring those 2 together for one delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich. So how's that sound? I thought you might say that. You said amazing. So let's make our way to our down dog, where we'll start with peanut butter. Keeping in mind that we are practicing Santosha, so joy without conditions, and we are practicing gratitude in our motion. So from down dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee draws to the center for your gate pose. So we'll face that side of the mat. Right arm reaches up and over. Big breath in. Exhale, gaze to the back. Half splits. Full inhale here. Exhale, we can come forward. And then we'll shift it forward, runner's lunge, to our twist. And we have that option to come into our horizon, where we'll lower onto our seat, finding our cow face legs. Let's reach that left arm out to the side. Right arm comes up and over as we inhale, opening. Exhale, we close. We'll inhale, opening, breathing into that heart space. Exhale, bring your hands to the back of your mat and unravel for our Prasarita twist. So left hand is down, right arm reaches up. Big breath in. Exhale, face forward. Left knee is down. Left arm comes up as we come into our exalted. And then we cartwheel it down. You can go right to your down dog or maybe take your vinyasa flow. That's where our peanut butter is today. Left leg lifts. Exhale, knee comes to center, facing the side of the mat for our gate pose as we reach that left arm up and over. As we exhale, we'll gaze to the back, and then we come into our half splits. Inhale, exhale, forward. We shift it forward for our runner's lunge to our twist. Option to come into that horizon lunge, and we'll come onto our seat. Right arm comes out to the side, left arm comes up and over as we inhale. Exhale, we close. Inhale, we sit it back. Exhale, we bring our hands to the back, and we'll unravel for that wide twist. So right hand is down, left arm reaches up. Big inhale. Exhale, face the front of your mat. Right knee lowers, right arm up. And then we'll exhale, cartwheeling those hands down, making our way to our down dog. All right, we've got this. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it to the center. Inhale, coming into our gate pose. Exhale, gaze to the back as we find our half splits. We'll shift it forward, runner's lunge to our twist, to horizon, and we'll make our way onto our seat. Left arm walks out to the side, right arm comes up and over as we inhale. Exhale, we close. Inhale, we open. Exhale, bring those hands to the back to unravel, where we'll find our twist. Left hand down, right arm up, and then we'll face forward, left knee down, left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel it, making your way to your down dog. All right, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it to the center. Inhale into our gate pose. Exhale, gaze the back. We come into our half splits, and then we shift it forward, runner's lunge to our twist. Option to horizon, and then we'll come onto our seat. Right arm walks out to the side as that left hand comes behind the head. Inhale. Exhale, we close. Inhale, opening. Exhale, hands come to the back, and we unravel for our Prasarita twist. And then we face forward, supported, exalted, right arm is up. We'll cartwheel it down, and we are ready for our final round, my friends. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it to the center. Inhale, we come into our gate. Exhale, into our half splits. We'll shift it forward, runner's twist to horizon. We'll come onto our seat. Right arm comes back behind the head. We close. We inhale, lift. Exhale, unwind. Inhale, left hand down, right arm reaches up. Exhale, we face the front. And we'll inhale into our exalted. Cartwheeling it down, we make our way to our down dog. Left leg lifts. We'll bring it to center. Inhale, gate pose. Exhale, coming into our half splits at the back. We shift it forward, runner's twist to horizon. And then we come on to our seat. We'll bring that right arm out, left hand behind the head. We close, we open, and then we unravel to where we inhaled into our twist. Exhale, we face the front. Inhale into our exalted. Exhale, making our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How we doing? That's our peanut butter for today. Get what you need, because jelly is next. And I love me a good rhyme. Jelly starts on our belly, which gives me so much satisfaction in a ridiculous way. So I'm ready for jelly belly. They're trying to make it look like topo now. Did you notice? All right. Let's make our way to our bellies for jellies. Because guess what? It's Sphinx pose time. So we'll make our way there. We're practicing Santosha, joy without conditions, gratitude in motion. And we'll work those shoulders back as we lift up through our chest. Taking a big breath in here. Exhale, bend those arms, work those hands to the outside of your head. And we'll inhale, lifting up our left elbow. Exhale, we close. Inhale, we lift up our right elbow. Exhale, we close. And we'll release those arms, sliding those hands back to that tabletop, where we step the right foot out to the side. And we're moving into our side angle, so our supported side angle. You can't see me, so I'm going to face you. This is out to the side. We can do what we did in the warm-up. That's totally cool. However, if you're feeling a little spicy today, maybe you start to work your right shoulder underneath that knee. If you can work it underneath there, can you push into the floor to lift up this right foot? This might be where you stay. Maybe you reach for that foot or that big toe, bring your head underneath your arm, and start to work that right leg straight, coming into a supported version of Visvamitra. And if this isn't happening today, no worries. If it's happening and you're like, yeah, no big problem, awesome. If you want to go into the full variation, you will extend your left leg and you'll keep that lifted as you move into the pose. You're hearing it here first. It's very easy to fall in that version. Extremely easy to fall. So, if it's new, definitely start with a supported version. If the supported version is working really well, be mindful that it's much different when you start to extend that other leg, but it's all good. All right, so maybe we're not even doing that. Maybe we don't even care. We're in our side angle. Those left toes are tucked because we're coming into our half camel. Big breath in. Exhale, gaze straight ahead. Right foot steps forward. We bring our hands down. And then we straighten that leg for our half splits twist. Right arm is up. Ooh, breathe into that outer hip. Inhale. Exhale, we'll rebend. And we'll come onto our bellies. We inhale, Sphinx pose. Exhale, bend those arms. On our inhale, we'll lift up the right arm. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up the left arm. Exhale, lower. Extend through the arms, slide those hands back, tabletop, with that left leg out to the side. So we have our side angle option. If I'm facing you, we might bring this left shoulder underneath and then push to maybe find that foot and work that leg straightish. Make sure to bring your head underneath the arm, otherwise sometimes it looks like this. That's not very fun, it's annoying. No one likes the visual obstruction. We should have to pay less for that, right? This is free. I'm not sure how you pay less, but maybe you do. All right, an option. Again, you want to go into the full version, It's like side angle or warrior two legs, right? So we have that foot up, and then we start to work our head underneath the arm. Just an option, and we won't talk about it again here. So from our side angle, we've got those right toes tucked under, and we come into our half camel variation, really lifting up through the chest, pushing those hips forward. Oh, I've got weird hairs in my face. All right, and we'll gaze straight ahead. Left foot steps forward. We sink into it, and then we straighten that leg coming into our half splits twist. Nice. We'll rebend, and we come onto our bellies, moving with a little bit more pacing. We inhale, exhale, hands behind the head. Left arm up as we inhale, exhale, lower. Right arm up as we inhale, exhale, lower. Straighten the arms and slide those hands back. Bring that right leg out to the side, supported side angle. Inhale, half camel. Exhale, straight ahead, right foot forward, and then we straighten through that leg for our half splits twist. We bring it back, and we come on to our bellies. Inhale, exhale, bend the arms. Right arm lifts, lower. Left arm lifts, lower. Arms straighten, hands underneath the shoulders as we push it back, and bring that left leg out to the side. Coming into our side angle, and then coming into our camel. We gaze forward, we step that left forward, and then bring those hands down so that we can straighten through the leg for our half splits twist. And then we rebend, coming on to our bellies, which is our last round. We inhale, exhale, hands to head. Inhale, left arm lifts, exhale, lower. Inhale, right arm lifts, exhale, lower. Straighten through, hands slide back. Tabletop, right leg out. We come into side angle. We come into our half camel. We gaze forward, right foot forward, and then we straighten for that half splits twist. We bring it back onto our bellies. Inhale, exhale, hands behind head. Right arm lifts, we lower. Left arm lifts, we lower. We straighten those arms, hands come underneath. Tabletop to bring that leg out. Side angle. Half camel. Gaze it forward. Step it forward. And then we straighten through that leg for our half split twist. And we bring it back. Maybe we find our forward fold. We definitely don't have to go back onto our bellies, but guess what? We've made it to my favorite part of the practice. It is peanut butter and jelly time, and get excited because we are bringing these two together one last time. All right, let's do this. Santosha, joy without conditions, gratitude in motion, PB&J, down dog. Let's do this. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee comes to the center. We inhale, gate pose. Exhale, gaze to the back for that half splits. We shift it forward, runner's twist to our horizon lunge, coming down into our cow face. And then right arm comes up overhead. We inhale, open. We exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring those hands to the back. And we unravel for that prasarita twist. So left hand down, right arm up. We face forward, lowering that back knee as the left arm comes up overhead. And then we'll cartwheel it down. We come onto our bellies for our sphinx pose. Inhale. Exhale, bend the arms. And then left arm lifts. And we close. Right arm lifts. And we close. Arms come down. And we slide those hands back to come into our tabletop. Right leg comes out to the side. We come into our supported side angle to our half camel. We gaze forward. We step it forward and lean into it before we do our half splits twist. And then we come back forward. And maybe we move through a vinyasa, or maybe we go right to our down dog, which means the first side is done. Left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it to center. Gate pose, we inhale. Exhale, gaze the back. Coming into our half splits. We shift it forward, runner's twist. Horizon, as we come onto our seat. Left arm comes behind the head. We close. We open. And then hands come to the back to unwind for that prasarita twist. And then we face forward, back knee lowers, right arm is up. Cartwheel it down, coming onto your belly for Sphinx pose, where we inhale. Exhale, bend those arms. Right arm lifts, we lower. Left arm lifts, we lower. Arms straighten and hands come underneath the shoulders. As we bring it back to that table, left leg out to the side. Inhale, side angle. And then to our half camel. We'll gaze forward. We step it forward, hands come down. And then we straighten through that leg for our half splits twist. We bring it back. Option to take one last vinyasa. Or maybe you already have. And then we make our way to our seat because you did it. Amazing work. Take a moment just to check in with your breath here. Slow it down. Have a big smile on your face. You just made this happen. So you should be extremely proud of yourself. We're going to make our way into our final position. Maybe that's staying in an upright seated position, being a little bit more meditative, or maybe we come on to our backs in our shavasana. And as we make our way into our space, just take a moment to let your breath be soft and your body still. Focusing on our Santosha, or joy without conditions, and now our gratitude, which isn't in motion. And just know that I'm so proud of you for being here. I'm proud of all the hard work that you put in. And may you leave today remembering that gratitude isn't something you think, it's something you embody. And when gratitude moves, joy naturally flows. So until next time, namaste. Bye.